Joe, did you ever watch the show Community?
No.
There's a wonderful episode that I think speaks to a lot of what you're talking about right now. It's called Remedial Chaos Theory. And it posits that there is basically, it sends the show off into a multiverse. And basically, the power of this one dice roll that this guy throws at the beginning of the episode to see who goes to get pizza changes depending on who goes and gets it. And it explores each of the 6 timelines of what happens. And it's so amazing that with all the same elements in the room across 6 different timelines, one little thing compounds itself over and over again until one of the timelines, like it ends up like the whole house is on, the whole apartment is on fire, and like everybody's basically kills each other. And then the one where someone says, "Hey, wait," and he grabs the dice and he says, "There's already enough chaos in our lives. I'll go down and do this." And that one little element of, "Hey, I'm gonna do something positive," compounds and compounds and compounds and becomes what people call the good timeline, where everything sort of works out. And just that one act led to different acts from everybody else in the group of positivity. It completely changed different mindsets and things that you see. Where in one timeline, somebody was in a bad mood when someone said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to sing Roxanne," and the person's a terrible singer. In the bad timeline, everybody shuts her down and she gets grumpy about it, and that causes other things to go badly. But in the good timeline, everybody's just sort of so happy because everybody else has been putting out positivity that they just think, "You know what? This is fun for her. Let her do this." And then she does that and everybody joins in, and it becomes like it just compounds and compounds and compounds positivity.
So beautiful, Riley, and a perfect example. And good begets good. Good begets good. And how often do we give ourselves an opportunity to follow the good timeline more frequently? And ultimately, always, maybe, if we give ourselves a chance. And if we're honest with ourselves and reflecting on that same example, Riley, like, how many times, if we're genuinely making choices based on unconditional good and selfless choices, where there was a negative effect? Like, if we're honest with ourselves and we look at those moments in which we made selfless choices with unconditional, no conditions, we're generous without conditions, we're loving and compassionate without conditions. I challenge every one of us to find one of those occasions in which something like terrible occurred, or a feeling of terror or negativity or evil happened. Right? There might have been something that happened before that choice that was terrible, that was negative, that was earth-shattering. But in all of these scenarios, if we can, again, give ourselves the opportunity to make those choices more frequently. 50,000 seconds in a waking day if you're asleep for 8 hours a night. 50,000 seconds, 50,000 moments to make a choice. Right? Sometimes we don't want to make any choices. Right? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. Right? But every day and every moment that goes by in which we're not planting seeds for the future, in which we're not recognizing and nourishing the seeds that we planted in our past that could be or are for our dreams, like we're delaying and choosing. When we don't choose joy, we're choosing the opposite. We're choosing to either be indifferent or have no feeling, or we're choosing the easy feeling of feeling what just feels comfortable, which is the easy choice to just, typically think about events that are similar to the feelings of the bad day I had today. It's easy to do that. It's easy to feel that feeling because we're in that mood. Oh, this person did this or this person didn't do that. This was terrible. And what's the first thing we do? We think about a similar event that we had a similar feeling for. It's just natural. That's just what happens. And it takes effort to say, I ain't talking about that anymore. Let me talk about something good. It takes effort. It takes conscious awareness to first be aware to the fact that we're in that program of just, continuing on a snowball effect of whatever feelings we technically don't want to feel if we're honest with ourselves, to then make a choice to say, oh, I want to do something different. I want to feel something happy or joyful, right? We're giving ourselves a chance, and to realize that, as long as we're making choices towards what we want, and as long as we're making choices that are selfless, that there's no bad that can come from that. There is no bad that can come from selfless choices. And if we're being honest with ourselves and someone's saying, oh, that's not true, that in and of itself is a selfish observation and a criticism. Truly, because you want to be right. We have this thing where someone needs to be right. How about, like, who cares who's right? There's no one needs to be right. There's just truth. If we just followed the truth instead of having it be something in which someone needed to be right and someone needed to be wrong, think about the feelings that sets for each one of them, the effort and the force that has to happen for even that to occur, for someone to be right and someone to be wrong. And then the next time those people come together, there's this angst of the wrong one feels slighted and wants to get back over the person that got one over on them. And the one that's right wants to maintain their superiority of being right. That's the ego. That's our ego. That is something that's our outer self that's not connected whatsoever to our inner self, where all that's good comes from. Not connected. The opposite. And so when that happens, it's easy. It's easy to just kind of flow with with whatever it is that's happening in the day, where, but to be able to catch ourselves, be able to say, oh, no, wait, what am I doing? Why am I thinking about that? That takes awareness. That takes, and to give yourself the opportunity to even look at that and to be able to say, you know what, I want to do this, or I want to get better, or I want to be better, and then better could be whatever your own version of is. But if we can just be genuine with one another and be our real selves in every moment, instead of having a duality in which we're conflicted all the time and trying to be one person to some group of people, or a certain type of individual, and another person in a different setting in which maybe we feel more supported.